Welcome to Hawks Football Weekly. I'm Brant Freeman with Canyon Lake head coach Charley Drum. Canyon Lake coming off a tough loss this past Friday to Wimberley, 20-13. Coach, second week in a row, you've had a game come down to the wire. Tough to lose that way, certainly. But what were some of the positives you took away from the game?
Well, definitely it was tough losing a game like that. The kids gave great effort. Definitely a huge positive way our defense has played. Everyone was telling us, Wimberley's averaging 48 points a game. Averaging 500 plus yards, that we were going to have to outscore them, score 50, 60 points. But our defense came out and slowed them down, made their quarterback a little bit uncomfortable, forced them to do some things they weren't used to. So really pleased the way they played.
We previewed that defense in last week's show, kind of guilty of talking about just how good they were, led by their quarterback, JoJo Weeks. I look at the play of your defense, and earlier this season you shut out Blanco, held Reagan to 6 points, 2 great ball games there. But considering the opposition, was this the best your defense has played this season?
Definitely. Wimberley had by far the most playmakers. The quarterback, he's really good, been playing at a high level. And to slow him down and kind of force them to do something they weren't comfortable with, real proud. Our coaches had a great game plan, Coach Hooper, all the defensive coaches. So real pleased with their effort, and hopefully that continues.
As good as Wimberley's offense is and was this past Friday, defensively, Wimberley very good as well. Tough to score points against them in the first half. You really got things going, scored 13 points in the first half. The Texans, though, did make their adjustments after halftime. You had a tough time getting things going in the second half. Looking at the play of your offense as a whole, though, what did you take away?
We were pleased. They executed the game plan almost perfectly to start the game off. We jump out to a 13-0 lead. Probably only negative, and we'd go back to the Giddings game. We had 2 penetrations inside the 20, came away with no points. The first half we missed a field goal, in the second half we turned it over on downs on the 3. So, if we can get that corrected, we like how our offense has been playing.
Micah St. John ran for over 100 yards for you against the Texans on Friday, and we've talked about the stable of your running backs throughout the entire season so far. They've all been great. Tristan Chacon and Tanner Ferris as well. Quarterback Benjamin Fulton has played well this season. Maybe we haven't discussed, though, the play of your offensive line enough. 4 games into the season, how well are they holding up?
Well, they're doing great. They're the strength of our team, especially on the offensive side. And, a testament to that is the injuries we've had in the backfield. It doesn't really matter who's back there. We're going to have a couple, either 100-yard rushers or close to it. So, and that speaks volumes about our offensive line. I mean, they don't care who's running the ball. They're going to, keep on trucking.
Well, obviously the biggest goal of the game is to simply win it. That didn't happen this past Friday, but win or lose, coaches want to learn about their football team. What did you learn about yours?
Just how resilient they are and the way they ignore all the noise. It was a homecoming game, playing a ranked opponent. Wimberley blew out Giddings, who beat us the week before. So, your average Joe's going to say we're going to have a tough night against Wimberley. But they ignored all that noise, executed the game plan. We had a chance to win numerous occasions. We just couldn't put them away, especially in that first half. I thought we had some chances, but kids played their rear ends off, and they play like that the rest of the season, we'll be okay.
How about the environment, by the way, at Hawks Stadium this past Friday?
Oh, it was great. It was like a playoff game. Wimberley brought a bunch of folks over there. They're only about 15 miles away. A bunch of ex-players, ex-students came. We saw them after the game. It was a great atmosphere and a great football game, even though we didn't come out on top.
Well, that again, a look back at the Hawks game this past Friday against the Texans coming up in just a bit. We'll preview the game coming up this Friday against Lampasas.
If you bank at Frost, we'll help keep your money safe. If you use your Frost debit card, the chip will make it more secure. If there's a suspicious transaction on your card, you'll get an alert. If you do, you can freeze your card with the Frost app. If you lose your phone, Touch ID login will help keep the app secure. Of course, if all you need is help from people who care, we've got that too.
Coming up this week, week 5, the opponent, the Lampasas Badgers. So far this year, Lampasas is 1-3. Coach, this is a team you've seen now for 4 years in a row, coming up this Friday, and you beat them a year ago, 42-34. And we mentioned the record, so kind of a slow start for them so far in 2017. What are your initial impressions of Lampasas?
Well, they played a tough schedule. They played Wimberley and some other teams with winning records. Very explosive offensively. They had a running back run for 350 yards a couple weeks ago against Robinson.
Yep.
Number 11, Sean Williams, is a real good back. They got a freshman quarterback, which is he's very dangerous, a good athlete. I remember him in 8th grade, but he's doing well. You know, he's learning on the run, but offensively, they're pretty good. They're averaging a bunch of points and a bunch of yards. You know, kind of similar to Wimberley, just not as experienced as Wimberley.
I'm about to say this conversation sounds familiar, kind of what we talked about last week. You mentioned the play of the freshman quarterback, Ace Whitehead, and Sean Williams. So certainly Lampasas can be balanced on offense. So how do you feel they're going to try to utilize their talent to come Friday night?
Well, they like to spread the ball around. They got about 2 or 3 really good receivers, similar again to Wimberley.
Yep.
They try on 50-50. They're going to give Williams the ball half the time. Number 25, they have a sophomore who's pretty good back as well, and mix it up between short stuff, bubbles, tunnels, and they'll take their shots deep, about 3 or 4 a half.
So offensively, Lampasas is very good. Defensively, though, they've struggled there. They've given up 49 points or more now in 3 consecutive games. How do you go about exposing what they do on defense?
Well, they've given up a lot of points, a lot of yards. They are very opportunistic. They've forced a lot of turnovers, so we're going to have to take care of the football. And similar to what we did to Wimberley in the first half, kind of grind them a little bit, get that clock ticking and keep their offensive weapons off the field.
Looking at your non-district schedule so far to this point, you open against Blanco, played Austin Reagan on a short week on a Thursday. Last 2 weeks, Giddings and Wimberley, 2 really good football teams. Lampasas here this coming Friday with 1 more looming in the schedule next week. Looking at the non-district schedule as a whole, how balanced has it been?
Well, we're kind of pleased. The first 2 weeks, Blanco runs the football. Reagan's now running the football more. Kind of tested our manhood a little bit and, got us going. The last 2 weeks, Giddings and Wimberley, spread offenses, have athletes all over the field. And I thought we responded well, so hopefully that'll bode well for us in, the last 2 weeks of non-district and when we get into districts, against the run and the pass.
Coach, any of the keys you could break down for us as you get ready for the game against the Badgers on Friday?
No, we're just looking to get healthy, and the effort's been there, and our goal is to win these next 2 non-district games and be healthy and at full strength when we travel to Bernie for a tough district opener.
All right, Coach, good luck this Friday.
All right, thank you.
Again, Kenya Lake taking on Lampasas on the road this Friday at 7:30 for complete coverage of the game. For a recap next week as well, be sure to go online to hawksnetwork.com. For Kenya Lake head coach Charley Drum, I'm Brant Freeman. This has been Hawks Football Weekly. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week.